Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome to Earth Angel Tarot. This is going to be an Isis Unveiled pick a card reading where we look at the next chapter of your life. So, these are the three images that wanted to come out from my Goddess Isis deck. So, take a look at which image calls out to you the most, and whichever one you feel drawn to, those will be your channeled messages from the beautiful beloved Isis on what is the next chapter of your life looking like. Okay, happy picking. Hello to you who chose pile number one. So, this is the image that you all picked here. Okay, and on the other side, we have divine destiny. And it says, the divine warrior is within you, helping you to continue with a worthy path even during times of difficulty. When faced with a challenge, a true warrior will summon more of him or herself to the cause. It might be by bringing more wisdom, focus, or intelligence, or surrendering into the divine. The warrior within has great inner resourcefulness and determination. Okay, and that's the image again. All right, so now let's look at what channeled messages the beautiful beloved goddess Isis has for you in regards to the next chapter of your life. All right, so you guys have new birth, and it says creation and metamorphosis, birthing something new, coming into being. All right, and you have justice, which says doing what you think is right. Only honesty brings success, spiritual order, truth. All right, so I definitely feel like you are being called to step into some type of warrior spirit in regards to whatever situation you may be going through at the moment. You may be something may be challenging you or pushing you to your limits, but you are being you're being told that it is for a reason. It is for you to step out of your comfort zone. So whatever challenge you may be facing or causing facing at this moment, it is for a good cause, right? It's to open you up to a new version of yourself, to show you strength, to show you that you have the strength, that to show you that you have the resilience, all right, to push through whatever it is that you may be going through that's difficult at this time, all right. And you have the justice card, meaning I feel like this is saying that your spirit team, your guides, they are on your side, right? They are making sure that things in the end, even though things may be unbalanced at the moment, things are going to eventually play out how they're supposed to play in your favor. All right. But I do feel like you're being given this test of a test of resilience is what I'm getting, right? And it's for you to kind of step out of your shell, right? To step out of your comfort zone, to pull out that warrior within, to pull out that inner strength that you may not know resides there, but your spirit team does. All right. So then we have focus on your health. All right. And it says wellness, active, radiant nourishment. All right. And so maybe even with this card coming out, maybe some of you may be even going through some health challenges, all right, at this time. And if so, your spirit team wants you to not doubt that you are capable of coming out of this on the upside of things, right? So just having that faith and that determination to pull through, having that warrior spirit to pull through. And that's just for any of you who that may apply to. Remember, this is a general reading, so the messages won't resonate with everyone. But for those of you who may be going through any type of health difficulties, This is you being called to know that you can persevere through them. All right. And then look at this. We have power. All right, which goes great with the worry, the divine destiny, right? Showing that you do have that inner strength, that inner resilience to push through whatever challenges you may be facing at this time, okay? And then let's pull this up a little bit. That way we can see all of the cards that's here. All right, and we have growing pains. All right, look at that third eye there opening. All right, so this is the third eye is the eye that you can't see, right? Just like when the you're being called to pull out what's internal from you, right? So whatever that you feel is challenging or difficult for you at this time, you're being called to go within. All right, so the growing pains card says healing, patience, unconscious, growing pains, and like I mentioned earlier, I feel like this is you. Um, this is whatever challenge you are going through is meant to make you stronger. We have the word growing and we also have the word pains, growing, right? Extending beyond the start point. Pains, those things that are meant to be difficult, but what do you take from it? What do you gain from it? What can you pull from yourself that helps you to overcome? All right. Um, so I definitely feel like, there's a new version of yourself in this next chapter that's waiting to be birth, okay? And I'm getting actually the word rebirth, meaning that it's always been there with you, maybe over many other lifetimes. And now in this lifetime, it is time for you to reawaken to that divine destiny that you have, right? But there has been obstacles along the way, and those obstacles were meant to make you stronger. Those obstacles were meant to make you go within. A lot of times we face obstacles or we go through them and we don't want to tackle them head on. So we look for ways to weave around them, right? But Spirit is saying no. Whatever you are being faced with, whatever is at the forefront, those things are there not for you to go around them, but for you to go within. That way you can face them head on. And I feel like some of you may have been hiding from that truth of yourself for a long time. Maybe you had it's self doubts about yourself, or maybe you kind of, didn't believe in yourself with the focus on your health. Maybe, there were things that you doubted about yourself. You didn't possess that self love, self care that made you feel worthy of being able to. Um, Feel like you can push through or pull through whatever obstacles you face, right? So Spirit is asking for you to stand in your power and to no longer um, doubt yourself, right? And a lot of times too, when we don't possess that self love or self care about ourselves, we kind of tend to overindulge in different things, right? And so this is Spirit asking you to no longer look for a scapegoat, right? Scapegoat to your problems is what I'm getting, and instead learn to tackle them head on because they were meant to. They were adversities put there in order for you to persevere. All right. So then let's just see what tarot messages wants to come out for you. Thank you, beautiful beloved goddess Isis. What messages do you have for pile number one in regards to the next chapter of your life? What messages do you have for pile number one? All right, so you have the Seven of Pentacles coming out. And the Seven of Pentacles is another card of perseverance and patience, right? And you have the word patience here on growing pains. So a long time coming is what I'm getting, right? A long time coming, and where you have maybe self doubted yourself, self doubted your abilities, right? And now you're being called to step into your divine destiny. Okay, there is a divine warrior within you. All right, helping you to continue on your path, even when things don't seem to be going as easy flowing as you would like for them to be. Okay, what other messages do you have for pile number one in regards to the next chapter? Okay, look at that. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, you have the Wheel of Fortune, and then you also have the Justice card here, which definitely says that things will be turning in your favor. All right, your spirit team just wants you to remain focused, remain diligent, to continue to stand in your power, right? And to not to wash away all those self doubts or those things that were holding you back internally. Now it's time for you to kind of wean away from those types of beliefs in order for you to continue to persevere. All right, those challenges I'm getting were meant to make you stronger. So, whatever challenge or obstacle you may even be facing at this time, it is intended to make you stronger. And for those, maybe you even have people in your life who kind of kept you in that lower vibrational state. This is the time for you to acknowledge the power that you have and that you don't have to live off of, what others believe about you or have to say about you, because you have your own internal power and balance to work with. All right. So yeah, and just like I said, when you may have others around you, so you have the Five of Wands and the Ten of Cups. So I do feel like something's in the way or someone is in the way of your happiness, right? And this is why too I feel like you're being called to reclaim your power, right? Because the Five of Wands card is the card of conflict. Nothing as serious, just I feel like with the 501s, this card for me is like a lot of petty bickering, um, competition, or someone you thinking they're better than you or you're better than them. So just like a lot of pettiness with the 501. So nothing too dramatic. But I do feel like when it coming out with the 10 of cups, it is something that's standing in the way of your happiness, right? And with it being next to the Wheel of Fortune, it's just saying that in order for, things will change, right? Things will change, but in order for them to change, you are being called to step in your power. How do you step in your power? The first thing that I'm getting is self worth, right? Knowing your self worth. And with this growing pains, I'm also feeling like some of you, this may be even childhood related, or it may even stem from um, family members, right? Sometimes we do have those family members who sadly enough, they're happy when we're not in a better place, right? And I feel like this growing pains is calling to me is that you have your light may have been dimmed, right? That third eye, that knowing your worth, that knowing your strength, that knowing your power may have been dimmed by family members, right? Someone in the family or a close knit circle that may have um, caused you to be in the state of mind or state of being that you are now, right? Keeping you from growing, but instead feeding you the pains, right? So this is especially with this Ten of Cups being close to that, this could be related to some type of internal family structure, right? Unhealthy family structure. And your spirit team, the beloved, beautiful goddess Isis, is saying you are bigger than that, right? You are way bigger than that. And now with this new birth coming up, this is time for you to come into being, come into who you are, understanding your true divine destiny. All right. The knowing that the inner resourcefulness, the inner peace, the inner guidance is all what's going to lead you to stepping into your true self, your true power. And a lot of times we feel like because it's family that does us wrong, that we kind of let them get a pass, right? Spirit team is saying no, that is not the case, right? We all are equal, even in our actions. So if someone is not behaving in a way that's appropriate, family or no family, it is okay to dismiss yourselves from them. Not to dismiss them, but to dismiss yourselves from them. Okay, there's a difference. Dismissing yourselves from them, meaning that you are no longer lending them your energy. You are no longer lending them your power. You are no longer allowing them to trample over and walk over your true being, your true self, right? So it's okay to love from a distance, is what I'm getting. All right. Some of you may be in a situation where you need to love from a distance. Okay. Um, so that is what you are being called to do. I feel like with the Seven of Pentacles, you've grown the most and the best that you could have under the circumstances that you were given, right? But there has been a stunt in growth. All right, there has been a stunt in growth. So your spirit team, the beautiful beloved goddess Isis wants you to know it's time to now pick up where you left off. And I don't feel like she's saying pick up where you left off in this lifetime. I feel like she's saying you're now picking up where you left off from previous lifetimes. So maybe now you're at the point of crossing the bridge of karmic debts and release in this lifetime that's now going to allow for you to pass over that bridge into now summoning and waking up to your true power. Okay. Because you're worth it, right? Spirit team wants you to know that you are worth it. And whatever self-doubts or whatever negative patterns or feelings that you may possess about yourself, release them to the universe, release them to your guides, release them to your angels, so that you can start to embrace the stronger, more resilient side of what your soul possesses, all right, that you may not be aware of. So I feel like definitely cutting ties, the next chapter of your life regards around cutting ties, all right. And not cutting ties as in to hurt anyone or disappoint anyone, but cutting ties so that you can now begin to live um, the new version of yourself, right? Focus on yourself, focus on your well being, focus on your happiness, focus on you stepping into what you were meant to do in this lifetime, all right, in order to evolve and ascend as a soul. Okay, so now, let's see, we have a Remember Your Divinity card here. And this one says drought. It's darkest before dawn. All right. And there's another tree. This reminds me of it's similar to the Seven of Pentacles here tree, right? With the lady just there. And you also remember how the word patience on the growing pains card. And this is just like I was just saying, like, you've come to where you've come at this point and at this time, um, and you've done as much as you could do under situations and circumstances that may have been given to you. Uh, but that drought period, I feel like I mentioned earlier, was there to make you stronger, all right? Was there so that you can acknowledge, or not even acknowledge, but to make you go within, right? To make you go within and pull out that internal resourcefulness. All right, so I do want to take a look at what the drought card says. So let's see what we have for that card. All right, so it says, you are in a crisis of sorts. Everything familiar to you, your eyes, so to speak, have gone blind. You've lost your way and have to reorient yourself in the dark. You're hungry, but the ground is blistered and hard. You're searching, but hear nothing but your own voice echoing. No matter which direction you turn, there is nothing but vastness and darkness in every direction. You are hopeless and tired and starving. It all doesn't seem worth it. You just want the pain to go away. Maybe you've experienced a betrayal. Perhaps something you believed in and built a foundation on has crumbled to the ground. Maybe you've been rejected by someone or something that you loved with all of your heart. Maybe you've longed for something for so long it's made you go numb. Maybe the person you thought you were or should have been is not the person you are at all. Maybe you're asking yourself, what's the point to all of this? Why am I here? Taking even two steps in this darkness takes all of your effort. Waking up, getting dressed, putting one foot in front of the other is so much more difficult when you are flailing in the darkness. So yeah, this is just like I mentioned that, maybe when you were dealing with or could have been dealing with um, maybe some type of, family drama or trauma, that's kind of shaped you and shifted you into a way of being that's not necessarily who you are. And I feel like now is your time to emerge from that dark space, emerge from that dark energy and step into the light, right? Um, if you can see, I don't know, let me try to show you. But on this card here, like there's a light that's surrounding, the top of her head. So you are the light, and you are being called to now in this next chapter of your life, a light, next chapter of your life, next chapter of your life, emerge from that dark space, right, into the light. And you are meant to know that that light has been within you all the time. It's just that it has been dimmed, and now you're being called to awaken to the lightness, right? And like I was mentioning earlier, even if it calls for you to do some sort of cutoff, cutoff of people's energies that you don't need, people's actions that you don't need, people's behaviors that you don't need. Okay. Um, So it also says it would be so much easier to close your eyes in the dark, to go back to sleep. But I know there is something inside of you that knows the sun does come up once again. If you can just know in core of your being that the darkness is not forever, if you can rest into the darkness instead of fight it, you can make it to the light. Right. And I feel like that's just like what I said. It's not necessarily, dismissing or getting rid of people for the sake of their wrongdoing, but it's for the sake of your better doing, right? So in the next chapter of your life, you are being called uh, to branch out, right? To branch out and to step into your power and to dismiss those things that were not that were never any good. Well, they were good for you in a sense of they brought you to this point of recognizing that you need to break free, right? And you sense it, you feel it, you know it. And so you're being called at this time to break free from old patterns, old energies, even people, places, or things that no longer serve you, in order for you to live the next better version of yourself. Okay? So those are the messages that I have for you, my beautiful pal number one. Take care, and until next time. Bye bye. Hello to you who chose pile number two. So this is the image that you chose. Okay, and it says the lunar queen. There is a deep feminine wisdom that recognizes the importance of cycles of rest and replenishment as essential to balance our actions of power and demonstration. You are asked to allow this replenishment for yourself now, trusting that you are in a cycle of creation that is about to shift into a new phase. Release and enjoy the process without having to control or force it. All right. So I almost pick up like the Four of Swords energy with this card and with this message, where you are being called to put the swords down and kind of let spirit guide you. Okay. Um, let's see what the oracle cards say. All right, so you have the feminine. A woman will play a role, your feminine side, feminine energy. All right. So I'm almost picking up like workaholic, or maybe a lot of you may be more invested in your masculine energy at this time, playing more masculine role, so to say. Um, And so you may be called to put that side to rest and allow for more of your feminine side or feminine self to show. I'm getting a wall has been put up, right? A wall for some type of blockage of energy flow that allows your feminine self to be easily expressed. All right. Let's see. Okay. And then you have helpful people. Someone will be generous to you. People want, willing to help, accept help from others. Yeah, so this is just like what I was picking up, right? The masculine energy, the I can do for myself, and not to say that there's not a feminine aspect to that way of thinking as well, but I picked up mostly like this masculine energy, where you have to do it all. You want to do it all. You're at the forefront of everything, right? You can do it on your own, so to say. Um, Gives me the nine of pentacles type of energy, right? And so you are being called by your spirit team at this time to put those swords down, to rest, right? To use your resources, to use the help around you, helpful people, so that you can embrace more of a feminine side of yourself. Because when your feminine and masculine energies are balanced, that's when you are able to step more into the true essence of self and your potential and your ability. Because when you're out of balance, there's aspects of yourself that you miss out on because of being focused on one side, more to the extreme, right? So you have this, I'm getting there's this wall built up that doesn't allow for this flow of feminine energy. And that that kind of sometimes, keeps people away. So you may be someone that's successful, in a sense of material being, in a sense of financial being. But if you're successful in that sense, doesn't make you successful in another sense where you're open, loving, caring. So people may view you more of standoffish and choose to um, disconnect from you, or you're disconnecting from them. So there's no balance. So on one side your financial life is good, but your love life is, it sucks, right? So this is why you're being called to, I feel like, bring a balance between the masculine and the feminine energies within yourself. All right, letting that guard down, so that you can't allow for people to come in to help where there's help needed, even if you don't need help. I mean, if you don't need help financially, you may need support emotionally, right? You may need mental support. And a lot of times we don't like to admit that we do. Um, we do, right? A lot of times we do. We need that emotional support. We need that mental support. And when we have our guards up, we're not always allowing people in. And so that prevents us from getting that support that, even though we may not mention that we need, but we do need it prevents us from getting it, right? So I feel like you're being called to let your guards down, uh, release some of the masculine energy, and invite in more of the feminine energy. And if you need the help, it's okay to ask for it. Right? It's what your spirit team is saying. It's okay to express a need of help, because in the end, it will suit you better than you know. Is what I'm getting. All right, and then you have Raziel Rainbow. Okay, and that's number 8, and it says enlightened, adaptable, soulful, and connected. Yeah, so this is, I feel like, especially coming up with this feminine card here. Um, it's okay. I'm getting to let your inner light shine. right? You are a array of colors. Your aura is an array of colors. And you have so much to offer in a feminine sense, is what I'm getting. You have so much to offer, but I don't feel like you're allowing yourself to. And this could be in regards to maybe past hurts, past disappointments, that you may have experienced that kind of cause you to shield yourself, right? Shield that inner light that you maybe you're a type of person who knows you're a good person, right? But because you've been through so much in the past, you probably feel like why let others have access to my goodness, right? Just so they can trample over it, or they can mistreat it, or misuse it, or abuse it, right? So you may be intentionally, even though you're capable of being a feminine lover person, you may choose not to on purpose because of past hurts. Or disappointments. All right. And then we have a solitude. All right. And a solitude is for me is the point of reflection. Okay. And I feel like this is saying with the solitude card is that you will receive your inner peace when you go within. All right. You will be able to acknowledge, embrace, and live out that feminine principle of yourself once you go within. Acknowledge why there's a wall up. Acknowledge why past hurts still linger. Acknowledge why, you know, there's a standstill when it comes to allowing yourself to venture into the unknown when it comes to your feelings, your emotions, right? And in order to do that is with solitude, taking that moment to retreat, to go within. And it goes well with the Lunar Queen card, where it's asking you to just do that. Okay, you are asked to allow this replenishment for yourself now, trusting that you are in a cycle of creation that is about to shift into a new phase, right? So this is you, I'm getting like acknowledging the shadow self, right? Acknowledging the shadow self. Okay, realizing in this next chapter of your life what worked for you, what didn't, and the things that did not work, why didn't they work, and why or how can you release them, right? Okay, and then you have number 20. You don't need it. I'll figure it out. All right, and it says the gifted guide, stars, chaos, opportunity. Okay, and I feel like with this, um, like this could go either way, right? Because if you look, you have like it says the gifted guide, and you have this little mushroom, I think that it is, as if it's giving some advice, right, to this lady here, and then you have helpful people. So I feel like this could go either way. So this could be you, refusing the help, right, because you feel like you've got it all figured out, or this could be you realizing that you don't have it all figured out, and just allowing yourself to open up, right? Allowing yourself to put that guard down and step into this energy of, um, I just feel like this, like release of, there needs to be a release of this energy, right? In order to allow the light energy to come through. Okay. Because you and even the key words here, you have stars and then you have chaos. So you have one like stars, I would think to be more of a positive, optimistic outlook of you, and then you have chaos to match it, right? So that's another reason why I feel like it can go either way for you. Um, but the key thing is for you to use this time for inner reflection. All right, journaling. I'm getting journaling may be good for you. Journaling may be a good time to express emotions if you don't have someone that you can express them with in person. Journaling is a good way to express your emotions outwardly so that they're not bottled up. And it also allows you to have that moment of reflection, right? Self reflection. But I do feel like there is a feminine aspect of yourself that's longing to come out. The light is within. Maybe life situation, circumstances may have, caused you to bottle that light up. but your spirit team wants you to seek their guidance in the way to where they can help you to release and shed some of the dissonance that you may be carrying. All right, because helpful people can be people here in the physical 3D, but helpful people can also be your spirit team, right? That's coming through to help you to shed those things that you no longer need. All right, so let's see, what messages do you have for pile number two in regards to the next chapter of their life? All right, and you have the Empress. So some the in even in the Lunar Queen card, the Isis card, it mentioned, that there's a creative side of you that's ready to emerge. And you have the Empress here. And the Empress is the creative empress, right? She's going to be the one who's, first of all, let's talk about the feminine connection, right? She's going to be very feminine, of course. And this is where I feel like you shine the most when you let your guard down, right? And you release some of that masculine energy that may have taken over. And I keep getting like there's a wall up, right? But when you let that wall down and you allow yourself, your true self to shine, um, you're really going to shine. Like even like I've sensed like look the colors in the Empress as well as this Raziel Rainbow card. Like there's so much potential within you, and block potential is what I'm getting. There's so much blocked potential in you right now. And it has to do with you being afraid of letting your light shine in the world, right? And you're being called to do that now. You're being called to grasp on to more of the feminine aspect of yourself in order for your true light to shine. I feel like you're hiding behind the veil is what I'm getting. You're hiding behind the veil. Uh, Three of Wands. All right. Wanting more, right? And I feel like with the Three of Wands showing up, this is just saying that your spirit team is always been there, but they're kind of waiting for you to take that next step, right? Prepare yourself for the next chapter. All right, as if you could see how the birds are like, looks like they're circling above. It's like they've always been there, you know, through thick and thin, through high waters. Like they've always been there, and they're going to continue to be there. So when you decide to make that next move, as you can see, the ship is there, right? And so you making that next move, I feel like is you just really going in and acknowledging what things in your life has caused you to put this wall up, okay? Um, Learning to release it, release release those energies, those feelings, those thought patterns, so that more um, helpful people can come in for you. And look at this, we have justice. Justice is things balancing out. All right. Justice is things coming to a balance. And what did I mention earlier? There needs to be a balance with you between the feminine and masculine energies within yourself. There needs to be a balance because without that balance, there's not a full understanding. There's not a full understanding. So that balance needs to happen, right? And I feel like with this Three of Wands, here looking at the shifts, I feel like this is you saying that, I'm ready. I'm ready for that next chapter. I'm ready for the boat to come in and take me to the next chapter, right? But there needs to be an emergence of your feminine principle, right? There needs to be emergence of your feminine self. There needs to, and what I'm getting mostly with feminine is just more of love, more of compassion, um, more of just being, right? And not just for yourself, but for others. No longer letting people dim your light, right? And justice also comes in when things that are dimming your light are removed, right? So things that no longer serve the intended purpose for your next chapter, those things are being removed for you and from you. All right. And look at this. We have the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. So, and even like I was saying, if you are someone who does well off financially, right? And look at this. This is perfect because it's like even if you are someone that's well off financial, but you lack in other areas of your life, this is you coming to terms of realizing what that missing component is and how is it that you get to it. How is it that you retrieve it? And I feel like the missing component for you is you the there's a lack of emotion somewhere. There's a lack of feeling um that, and I feel like it's due to past hurts, past hurts, right? Which caused you to go more on a solitude journey, right? It caused you to go more on a solitude journey in order to be able to do for self. But in the meanwhile of doing that, you kind of block out any other, or not any other, but you block out other blessings that could have been along your path. Okay, blessings other than finances, blessings other than materials, because it's kind of like a narrow sighted path, right? So I like this coming up at the end, and then you have the Empress on the other end, okay, with justice in the middle. So this is just saying that there has to be a balance between the feminine principle, the Empress, and masculine. And I put the Pentacles as Ten of Pentacles as masculine because money is a physical property, right? And it's a physical property that a lot of us, we long for, right? So it kind of puts us in most of the time the state of urgency to get it, right? Whether we're working a 9 to 5, whether we're doing side hustles, whether we're doing whatever, it just promotes this energy within us or this will within us to push forward, right? And so that's why I put the Ten of Pentacles more of a masculine energy. So you have the Empress here on one end and the Ten of Pentacles on the other. And in the middle, you have you choosing to balance them with the Three of Wands and the Justice. Okay, choosing to merge them together in a way where it makes sense, right? And so this is why you're being called to, if you're having a problem with doing that, to allow others to help you, helpful people. And I'm really getting a strong feel for communication with your spirit team, your spirit guides, your angels, your ancestors. All right. Let them help guide you along the way of being able to merge these energies in order for you to have the full self reflection in your next journey, your next chapter. All right. And so then the last card that we have is the Remember Your Divinity card. And in this one, we have Burial. Okay. And it says, You have been planted. All right. So you've been, and you see how she's like tucked away? I feel like you've been tucking away your true inner light for a long time, right? So there's a little growth here. So that, I feel like with that little growth amongst this whole body figure, that's only half of the potential that you've been allowing to showcase itself in the world, to manifest itself in the world. All right. So this little material manifestation of the flower or the little plant here, this is just a little inkling of who you truly are. Your true self is buried, right? Your true self, you're not allowing to fully be emerged with this feminine principle here, and with the rainbow, the Razio rainbow, right? You have a strong inner light. You have the Empress here. So there's a strong sense of yourself that you are not or have not allowed to emerge. And this is your call now to wake up to that inner light in order for the next chapter of your life to truly flow how you want it to and how your spirit team wants it to. So let's take a look at what the message for that card is. And we have that is number, I thought it was number 34, but it is number 39. All right, so we have number 39. You've been planted. Okay. And it says, imagine a ceiling fan that has been spinning at top speed for years and years. Once that fan stops, the dust, dirt, bugs, and caked on grime is visible. The fan was spinning so fast you never had a chance to notice how dirty it actually was, much less stop and clean its blades. Have you kept busy or become as obsessed with work or accomplishments so that you conveniently don't have the time to notice or process your trauma? Right? Um, so yeah, so this is like you hid yourself from the world, and this is exactly what I was saying. Like whatever it is that you buried, like I was mentioning earlier, that moment of solitude allows you to now bring that back to the surface to address it, right? Because you may have been focusing on your accomplishments and all that you're doing good, or financially, materially, everything is going well, but then is it really, right? Is it really? Because those moments when things that we thought we buried find its ways to the surface, and sometimes in the most unexpected times. So this is you now having control over when those things that are brought to the surface come to the surface, because you're going to go in and you're going to pull them out, and you're going to acknowledge them, and you're going to dismiss them, and you're going to release them into the universe, okay? So that you don't only have to now focus on one thing, you can focus on, the other aspect of yourself that you may have, tucked away or put to the side. Okay. And it says it's time to power down. It's time to rest. It's time to remove the dust, dirt, debris, but you can't clean a spinning fan. The first step is to stop and rest so you can see what you need to see. You have been a vessel for others' voices for so long, dwelling in the dissonance of an echo chamber, not of your own making. The time has come to burrow into a cave, to hibernate, to drown out the other voices, the sensory input, the decision making, the needs of others for another day. You are so used to emptying yourself on others that you have no idea how to sit in your own stillness. It is in this dark, soundproof void that you can begin to stabilize, rooting the new, healthy behavior and thought patterns that you are establishing. Yes, so even like the lunar queen, right? It is time to rest, right? It's time to put those swords down. Like I told you earlier, it was giving me the four swords energy. Time to put those swords down. Time to stop. Time to stop fighting the battle against self. Right. So no longer, burying who you are, okay, and just only showcasing a portion or part of yourself to the world. This next phase in your life is when you are now acknowledging any past hurts, past traumas, anything that, was no good for you, you acknowledging them and dismissing them in order so that you can step into your true nature of being, right? I'm getting you have a very radiant soul and a very radiant aura, okay? And you are connected to your guides, whether you feel it or know it or not. And they are always there, right? They are always, watching over you. Even when you feel like that they're not, like this Three of Wands, when you make that decision to acknowledge parts of yourself that you no longer are going to take on this journey with you and you're going to leave them behind, because even look with this Three of Wands, right? He only has one wand in his hand. The other two are behind him. So he's leaving some things behind, all right, and he's only taking with him what he needs. All right. And as you can see, like with the birds floating at top, your spirit team's waiting there to guide you. And they've always been there. That ship's probably always been there. They were just waiting for you to let go of the baggage that you didn't need for this next chapter or this trip going forward, this journey going forward. All right. So things coming into balance for you. All right. And with that, I see great potential. Okay, and with this, I'm really picking up the strong with this Empress and the ten of Pentacles, that yin yin yang perfect matched energy, right? You coming into that perfect flow of energy, all right, so that you're able to be in balance, okay, be in balance and step into your truth, step into your power, but you have to go in and pull out or pull up to the surface those things that you were burying away. Okay, that's what's going to help the new chapter unfold magnificently for you. And it has to be good because I don't know why I pulled the word magnificently out, if that's even a word, but um, yeah. So there's a wounded feminine energy within you that needs to be healed. All right, there's a wounded feminine energy within you that needs to be healed. But this is a time for you to go within to nourish it. All right, to help it, to release it, right? To release it so that you can heal both internally and externally. All right, pile number two, that was your reading. You take care, and until next time, bye bye. Hi, group three. So, this is the image that you chose for your reading. All right, and it says initiation. When you are being initiated into the divine mysteries of light, love, and power, there are moments of profound challenge. The key is to find the light within the challenge, the opportunity for growth that can transform any challenge into an experience of healing. With compassion and cleverness, you will not burn during your challenges. You shall thrive. All right. And this is the image again. All right, and let's see what oracle messages we have for you. Okay, you have sacred sexuality, infinite flow of divine love, intimacy in your relationship, sexual energy. All right, and then you have the rise, rebuilding from the ground up, reborn as someone different, rise from the ashes. All right, and that definitely ties in well with the initiation card. So some of you are definitely being called for. I feel it's, I'm getting some sort of life mission. All right. So I don't know how that may be showing up for you in your lives, or even if any of you are experiencing it or going through the ringer in some area of your life that may seem challenging for you. But if that is the case, it's because you are in a place right now where you are being I'm getting tested, right? Um, tested in a way of you waking up and realizing your potential. All right, and we have Jophiel Pink, and it says compassion, self care, simplification, and beauty. Okay. I'm getting some of you maybe like really free spirited, free spirited. Um, when it comes to relationships, right? I'm picking up on this energy, especially with the sacred sexuality, that you are very aware of who you are on a feminine level, which is completely opposite because I just did group two and they had more of a masculine energy. In this group, I'm definitely picking up on the feminine, um, the strong flow of feminine energy in this group. You guys are very self aware of who you are. You're very proud of who you are. There's a strong sense of self love in this group, right? Self love, self recognition, uh, just being comfortable and being happy in your own skin, right? Um, and this could come from there being a drought of this at some point in your life where this wasn't the case, right? Maybe for a long time, some of you lived the complete opposite. So you lived in the shadows, you weren't comfortable in your own skin. Um, but you've shaken that off, right? And you said, you know what, screw this. I don't have time for what people have to say or what people think of me. I'm living in my own truth, right? I'm living in my own power because I am who I am and I'm proud of that. Um, and especially with the rise here, right? Rebuilding from the ground up, meaning you started your own foundation, right? So, what didn't work for you before, or what others were trying to maybe impose on you as a way of being or a way of living, you was like, scratch that, and you started from your own foundation, right? And if you haven't gotten to that point yet, I feel like some of you will get to this point of the rise. Okay. Some of you, I feel like you have been through the ringer and um, you have won the battle, right? And that was at some point part of your initiation. And for those of you who haven't made it to the initiation phase yet, this is just telling you um, there's going to come a point, even if that point isn't here yet, or if it is here yet, there's going to come to a point where you're going to have to overcome obstacles of what others believe about self and start to believe what you believe about self, right? Your true worth, your true being, okay, without the attachments of what others feel or what others think, okay? Yeah. And even in this card, it's like she's like I say, so some of you are so free spirited, right? And look at like the messages on the little notes there. So there's one that says I matter, and there's one that says I can, there's one that says I am enough, and then there's one that says I am loved, right? Definitely, like I can feel like the peace for those of you who have come to peace with yourself. Like I can feel that energy. Like it's just such um a light-hearted energy, right? And like I say, completely the opposite of Pal 2. So Pal 2 was having to deal with, learning to embrace their feminine and let go of some of the masculine. And this group so far here is all about the feminine principle of self, right? You just like knowing you are the bomb, right? Knowing you are the it factor. All right. And so I feel like, some of you have already been through that initiation, I can't talk today, phase to get to this point, and some of you may be going through it. All right. And look at that. We have love. All right. And I'm getting with this card, learning to love self, right? More so than others. I mean, of course, it's okay to love others, but I really get like this is all about you embracing love. Like this energy is so like light and cheery and happy, and it's like peace, right? Coming to peace. Some of you are really coming to terms in the next chapter. You're coming to terms with yourself. You're coming to peace with yourself. You're beginning to love yourself, right? You're rising up from the ashes. So if someone burnt you down, not literally, because otherwise you wouldn't be watching the video, but if someone like tore you down to the point You doubted yourself for a long time. Now it's the time for you to rise above that, to show that you are bigger than that. You are better than that. Self worth is the cure. Okay. Self worth, self love, self care is the cure. That's part of the initiation process for you. The initiation process is for you to have those things come in that try to break you down, like they may have done, but you rising above that, right? You saying that I am bigger than this battle. I am bigger than this drama. I am bigger than this trauma. I am worth it all, right? Uh, so that's the initiation phase, all right? So initiation is basically you being thrown a challenge and your spirit team seeing how well you can overcome that challenge, right? And when you get to the point of this love, this self care, the compassion, even for the enemies or those who broke you down or tried to break you down, when you come to a point to say, I am above that, I am better than that, then you are passing the initiation, right? You're really ready for the next chapter or the next phase of your life, all right? Because you know your worth. All right. And then you have Don't Worry, Darling, You'll Find Your Way. And it says the red rose. And look at this. It says overcoming obstacles, finding joy, carefree. This is just what I was just saying about this group. Like I feel the carefree energy in this pile. Like it's just so like unbothered type of energy and I love it. It's so unbothered. It's so untethered. It's so nothing's going to pop or burst my bubble, right? Because I am the bubble, right? It's just so funny and so jovial and so happy and I feel like this is awesome for the next chapter for you because I feel like some of you have been there, right? You've been through the ringer. You've been through those obstacles. You've been through those challenges and you have surpassed them, right? You have overcome them. And days are definitely looking brighter and better for you, right? Overcoming obstacles. This is what I've been saying from the beginning. Carefree energy. This is what I've been saying since the beginning. Finding joy. Look at her, Jovial Pink. She is a joy beyond joy in this card, right? Finding that inner peace, rising up from the ashes. So you guys are for sure doing your thing in the next chapter of your life. You are surely unbothered, right? You are definitely unbothered in this next chapter of your life. All right, so now let's pull some tarot and see what messages the beautiful beloved Isis has for you on this next chapter. Okay, so now let's see what we have. What messages, beautiful beloved goddess Isis, do you have for pile number 3? Okay, and we have the Four Pentacles. Self worth. Like this is legit like what I'm getting from this card. Like look how he's holding on to his coin. And coin we know is has a value. It's worth something. And look how he's holding on to it. Holding on to your self-worth, right? Um just, not saying keeping it for yourself, right? I mean, not really want to. And what I really get from this is just like not letting the way he's holding on to it, not letting anyone come and steal your self worth, right? Your value, your who you are, right? Essentially, not letting anyone come in and take that away from you because after all the hard work that you put in, right? This is an investment for yourself now as well as for your future self. All right, holding on to your pride, holding on to your dignity, Um, and we have the sun that came up in reverse, and the sun in reverse is still a positive card. And this was kind of what I was going to say. Don't There's a such thing as being overly optimistic or too optimistic. So don't I feel like this is telling you you're being guided to not overindulge in yourself. So don't get so high on your horse where you start to look down on others, right? So still leave space for empathy, still leave space for sympathy, still leave space to allow love for others, right? So, because a lot of times people they'll feel like, oh yeah, I've pulled myself from the mud. I've made myself who I am. No one can stop me. No one can tell me anything now. Okay, there has to be a balance. So it's not to say that you can't be proud of overcoming obstacles, right? But just don't get so much caught up in overcoming those obstacles to the point where you think you're better than others, or you're not allowing someone to come in with another piece of advice or some words of wisdom, because you wouldn't want to miss out on opportunities that spirit still has for you. Okay, this is just one stepping stone to the next chapter in your life. So you wouldn't want to miss out on more opportunities and more potentials coming through for you, because now you're too fully invested in self. All right. So just be mindful of that, with the sun card coming up in reverse. So it's not a bad thing. Like I said, it's just knowing, how to share. Make sure you're sharing the love. All right. Don't keep it all for yourself. All right. What else do you have for pal number 3 in regards to the next chapter of their life? All right. Yes. Look at this. 8 of Cups. Right. What has served its purpose has served its purpose, and you are ready now to venture on. Right. You've been there, done that. All right. With whatever the obstacles you faced in the past or you may be facing now, you've been there, done that. Time to release and let go. All right, for a better version of yourself. It's now time to release and let go. It was fun while it lasted. It's what I just got. It was fun while it lasted, but now you're off to really discovering a new version of yourself. Look at that, the chariot, right? And you know where you're going with this, with the chariot, right? The chariot is that sense of direction, of knowing, right? And not only that, but this is your spirit team guiding you, okay, along the journey, guiding you along the path, showing you those things that you need to see that's going to help you to make the right decisions and the right choices in order to further progress along your path, in order to further progress along your journey, all right? But there's definitely this deep sense of inner peace that some of you, I feel like, with the energy being present the way it is, some of you have already been there, done that, the 8 of Cups, and you've already released and walked away. And some of you, if you're in the process right now of going through challenges and obstacles, and you don't understand why, it's part of your initiation. It's part of your spirit team saying, hey, we need you to further evolve on a soul level. So this task or this challenge has put before you so we can see that you can get past it, right? So that you can get past it in order to move on for the next chapter, the next phase of what we have to offer you. All right. And like this card says, it says, don't worry, darling, you will find your way. So you will definitely find your way, even in the midst of the storm, right? And because you know why? You have the chariot here, and the chariot is you being guided, right? So it's you being guided, but don't get lost in the sauce, so to say, with the sun in reverse. Don't get lost in the sauce to where um, you're full of yourself, right? You're too full of yourself because you think because you've made it to this point that you have all of the answers. So keep yourself humbled, right? Keep yourself humbled, and not don't overdo it, right? So I like with group two, they had a sense of like overly masculine energy. So don't over don't overdo the feminine aspect of yourself, right? Where you're just like exposing or letting out too much of the feminine principle and disregarding the masculine. There always has to be a balance, right? There always has to be a balance, the yin and the yang, in order for things to flow fluently. All right. But you're definitely, a lot of you, I feel like you're awakening to your true potential, your true power, right? And some of you, I get you're just in the beginner initiation phase, so things still seem a little cloudy, right? But you're still in the initiation. You may not feel like it, you may not know it, but you still are in the initiation phase. Okay, and you're being called to honor thyself, to love thyself. Okay, to rise from the ashes of whatever has brought you down, right? Let that be a challenge of the past, and now look forward to moving forward, right? Eight of Cups, the past, leaving what no longer serves you behind. The Chariot, moving forward, right? So this is you just really, but remember having that balance, okay? Not holding on too much, okay? Not holding on too much, because then that just becomes egotistical. And once the ego gets involved, the ego can be very tricky, and manipulative in how we behave and how we act. So don't let your ego become too prideful, all right, to where you begin to miss the points and the lessons and the values of this all right. So, lastly, I have the Remember Your Divinity deck, and we're going to pull, well, I already pulled a Remember Your Divinity message for you guys. And you all actually have the actual Remember Your Divinity card. All right, so this is the actual image they use for the cover of the box, and it is number one. All right. And I love it. Like it matches the energy because you guys are definitely shape shifting, right? You're shifting your energy. You're shifting that energy around and saying, no more holding me back, right? Look how she's on this, I think it's a tiger. She's on this tiger. She has a crown on. Her head is illuminated with light, right? The phases of the moon are on the side. So, and she's coming from, as you can see, she's coming from somewhere. As she crosses the threshold into this little arch, right? So this is just like with the Eight of Pentacles energy. I'm sorry, not Pentacles, Eight of Cups energy, right? Leaving one place behind and crossing over into a new threshold, right? Remembering who you are, remembering the true essence of self, remembering your power is what I'm getting. Okay, so let's see what the message for that one is. So that's the first one. And it says, it is time to wake up. It is time to realize that you have the power to walk up the steps of your own dungeon. It is time for a new era and the sunshine and blooming with flowers. And look at that. We have like the flowers here in this love card, which I placed right over there. And then we do have the sun here, even though it's in reverse, but we still have it here. And trees, but plant it with your own hands. You have the right to feel the light on your face and let the past go. Look at that, Eight of Cups, walking away from the past. You have the power to know the world you are living in isn't all there is. The old you is no more. The old you is destined for more. You are experiencing a structural, cosmic level shift, and the old relic, the old shell, has cracked. It was a facade separating you from your own divinity and power. There is absolutely nothing to worry about, nothing to fear. You are a vessel for the Godhead inside. You are the match head that has been struck. You are the flame that has tipped purple. You are the star that has begun to shine, but taken millions of years to be seen. Can you see yourself? There's more, there's more, there's more. I promise this feels like the end, but there is so much more, so much more. You must believe the sun will shine again. You must not lose heart. You must believe there's more. You are divine. It is time to light up the world. Yes, and from the beginning, like I was saying, like I felt a very like light energy. Like some of you are light ascended souls, right? You possess this very light aura about yourself. But I feel like you were asleep for a while. It was you were asleep for a while, and now the soul is waking up, right? And the initiation part of that process was the challenges that you could have been going through or are currently going through, is to help wake up the soul, right? Your soul has a remembering to do, your soul has a mission to do, coming over from, I'm getting other lifetimes, right? And now you're in this phase or this next chapter of your life is you remembering what that soul essence, what that soul purpose and what that soul mission is. And a lot of you are definitely feeling it, and a lot of you are waking up to it. All right. So now it's time to stand in your power. You are being guided, right? You are being guided. You're being given the strength. I'm feeling you're being given the strength that when in doubt, or even when a little bit of doubt comes up, your spirit team is like there to be like, stay the course, right? Because you've evolved so much in this lifetime. And now that you're in this waking up phase, it's like, okay, the wheels are turning with the chariot. Things are starting to roll. So don't be surprised if things just all of a sudden start to um, they start to mesh well for you, right? If coincidence start to happen, if things just start to like align perfectly all of a sudden. And this is the more you step into your power and the more you recognize true self, the more those type of synchronicities are going to happen, because that's a spirit's way of nudging you forward to say, okay, keep going, keep going, keep going. Um, so there's no turning back. There's no turning back to that place you were. All right. This is definitely a time for you to remember your divinity. Some of you are definitely getting powerful souls that are now at this phase in this chapter. It's time to wake up. All right. And it's time to remember who you are. All right. And so I'm so happy for those of you. Like, I'm really happy for those of you who have already, for the most part, been through this, been there, done that, and you are in this energy now. And I'm rooting for those of you who haven't quite got there yet, but you are definitely on your way there. Let this message from this reading coming through from the beautiful beloved Isis, let this be that push, that nudge you need or you may have needed to go full throttle with the change of self. All right. Self love, self care, self understanding, no longer letting people in that tells you otherwise. All right. This is your message group number 3. I really enjoyed it so much. I enjoyed the energy. Hope you enjoy it as well. And until next time, bye bye.